Hey there, Susan from Positively Fit You here, and in this video I'm going to talk a bit about motivation and behavior change. As you may know, I'm a sports nutritionist and a weight loss coach, and I coach individuals on changing their behavior and changing their habits. Now, the weight loss industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and honestly, there is a high relapse rate, a high failure rate when it comes to losing weight and keeping it off. Why? There's so much information out there, and it's not a secret as to what works. The reason is because it's easy to take some physical action steps for a period of time, but not as easy to change our long-term behavior, which is something that we have to do if we want lasting change. One thing that everyone loves is motivation. Motivation gets us started and keeps us going for a period of time. We all want to be motivated, right? But motivation doesn't last. So if you get frustrated with yourself because you can't stay motivated, it's not your fault. Motivation is something that happens at the beginning of something. For instance, say you start a new weight loss or exercise program. You're motivated, right? Maybe you go gung-ho for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and then what happens? Maybe you fall off track. Maybe you quit. You wonder what's wrong with you because you were so motivated just a couple weeks ago. Those who succeed are the ones who focus on their mindsets and focus on changing behavior for the long term. We actually have to change, and change scares people. Motivation will not keep us going through to make permanent changes. This is why most New Year's resolutions have been kicked to the curb by January 15th. In order to create lasting change, we have to focus on our thoughts and change our daily rituals, not just for a short period of time, for the long term. For instance, me personally, and trust me, I do have habits that I want to change, but one habit of mine that I'm very proud of is the fact that I do get up early every morning to work out, and that has been a part of me for many years now. So that is something that I do. But if you were to say, oh, Susan, you're so motivated. I wish I had your motivation to work out every morning. That kind of sounds weird to me because I'm not motivated every day to work out in the morning. It's a ritual. Now, if all of a sudden I decide that I'm training for a marathon, yes, I'll be motivated to do a certain program to get to that short-term goal. Or let's say I hit snooze once or twice. Yes, I have to motivate myself to physically get up out of bed, but for the sake of doing it every day, it's not motivation. It's a part of me, it's my identity, it's my ritual. And you all have rituals. I'm sure you all have rituals that you're proud of, that you're like, well, that's just something that I do. I mean, are you motivated to brush your teeth? No, you're not. That's just something that we do every day, right? But then there are probably other things that you want to do, which you don't do yet because you haven't made the decision to get in the right mindset to change your rituals for good. So, to make changes, you need more than initial motivation. One of the first steps to changing your behavior is you need reasons why. In my challenge groups, I often ask my participants to tell me their whys. Why do they want to make changes? In detail. And I always say that I want to look better and feel better isn't good enough. Your why has to have so much appeal to you that if you have temptations in front of you or you want to give up because you're discouraged, reminding yourself of that why will ensure that you continue. So when your motivation is wearing off, you need that why. Make it powerful and keep it handy so you can refer back to it often. For instance, look at the Biggest Loser contestants. How many of them lose all that weight and then keep it off? A very small percentage, because they typically haven't committed to themselves to making lasting change. They were motivated to take certain action steps, but maybe their whys didn't have enough importance to have them to continue their new ways in the real world. They probably didn't change their thought patterns, which is something that I like to talk about in my challenge groups. And they probably still associate their identity with their old self. Very rarely does anyone lose weight and keep it off by diet and exercise alone. You have to take the initiative to do the mindset work. If you don't want to do the mindset work, honestly, if you just want to diet and exercise, you may lose weight over and over. Again, that's why the weight loss industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry, because it's somewhat easy to get motivated enough to change our eating and exercise habits for a short period of time. It's not as easy to change our thought pattern, to change our vision of ourselves, to change our identity, to do daily affirmations, and to really address our limiting beliefs, which is what will lead to lasting change. Most of us don't want to change our thoughts, right? Most of the time, and I know from experience, when women are looking for a new weight loss program, they want meal plans, they want recipes, they want exercise, they want motivation. And yes, these things are part of succeeding, but all too often they don't really want to focus on what's inside their heads. I get the most resistance from clients when it comes to things having to do with their mindsets. Things like positive affirmations and gratitude lists. The most resistance because most people don't want to take the time to focus internally. And that's why I always like to talk about the mental aspects of losing weight, because it is so important. Changing a thought pattern that we may have had our whole lives is something that we have to make a point to change. We have to eliminate the negative self-talk. We have to take advice on affirmations, gratitude, and positive thinking, even if it's not comfortable at first. That's how we get to where we want to go. And the thing is, you can do it. Even if you've been sabotaging yourself your whole life, you can change your thoughts to change your behavior. Yes, it will take a little bit of work. It'll take you feeling like, oh, I'm lying to myself. But honestly, it's what you need to do. It's what really works. Now, don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and hit that like button if you like this video. I'll see you in the next one.